Hello everyone and welcome back to FIFA 22. Today we are looking at the best young centre-backs you can buy in a League 2 career mode that have an 80 plus potential. There are some great players in this list, there's some very expensive players on this list, and there's some players that are worth the money, and there's some players that are not worth the money. However, I'm going to include them all because some might tickle your fancy, some might not. But I'm going to go through them all with their potentials and all that sort of stuff. So first of all, we'll start with William Pacho from Independiente del Valle in Ecuador. Right, he is 61 rated with an 81 potential, and for the 870 to 1.25 million range, I think that's a bit of a bargain, especially if you're utilising your player swaps as well at this point in time. You should be able to get him for virtually zero, to be honest with you. So this would be a fantastic purchase for anybody trying to work on a budget in the League 2, and a solid centre-back that's going to last you all the way through to the Premiership. Next up, we got Alexios Kalogeropoulos. Alexios Kalogeropoulos. Yeah, I'm sticking with that. He is 62 with an 82 potential for 950 to 1.4 million. Again, another player who, in my opinion, is somewhat of a bargain. I think you might struggle a bit more with your player swaps here with Olympiacos. They're a bigger side. They might not want some of your players. However, you never know. Give it a try, see what happens. But even if they don't, it's not a massive amount of money to pay for a player that has an 82 potential. There's a lot of money there for you to be able to invest and make a hefty profit in a few seasons' time as well if you want to sell him. Next up, then we've got Alejandro Gomez. This guy can play left back as well as centre back. He is 63 rated with potential of 83, which is great. However, the issue with this guy is 1.5 to 2.25 million, so more expensive. If you're running with a financial takeover, this guy will be absolutely fantastic for you. Can cover both those positions and has a good potential. If you're not running that, it might be a little bit out of your price range. However, with player swaps as well, Club Atlas may be willing to part with this guy for less, and you might be able to get yourself an absolute star on the cheap. Next up, then we've got Callum Douglas from Sunderland. Apparently, you can offer anywhere between 1.2 and 1.2 million, so anywhere in that massive range should be enough to get Callum Douglas. He is 64 rated with a potential of 80. Again, with player swaps, you might be able to get this guy very cheap from Sunderland. Not quite as good as some of the previous ones on the list, but still a very solid option. And with the player swaps, a player you might be able to get for a very, very low price if you can offer Sunderland the right deal. Next up, Lorenzo Pierrola. 82 potential, 64 starting ability. Now, he was 64. He's got up to 65 in the first couple of weeks of this game while I scouted him. So as you can see, he's going to get up there quicker. He plays currently for AC Monza between 2 to 2.9 million. So a much more expensive one. I feel like, again, if you run in financial takeover, this will be a great option for you. Good potential. There are better options a little bit later on, though, so stick around for those. But if you're trying to work on a budget, I don't see this being the best option. I think some of the previous players we've looked at will be a much better option for you. But he is available in League 2 should you want to go for it. Next up, you have Lokomotiv Moscow's Alexis Bekov, or Beka. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. 1.9 to 2.8 million for the guy who starts as a 65 and has a potential of 80. Again, I don't personally believe this deal is worth it. Unless you've got the financial takeover and you're desperate to bring in players. He's a great player to have from the bench, covering that CDM centre-back and centre-mid position. But apart from that, if you're trying to work off a budget, I think there's better options you can go for on the list. Next up, Victor Guzman, 65 rated, 81 potential, 1.6 to 1.8 million is pretty good from Club Tijuana. Again, a player that if you do the right trade, you might be able to get for virtually nothing with Club Tijuana. So I think this is actually a very good option, one to definitely check out. And if the player swaps are there and the right swaps are there, you could get yourself an absolute star with this 81 potential. And 65 current ability is a pretty strong one in League 2 as well. Next up, we've got Ravel Tadja. 65 current ability, 83 potential. So this guy is actually a really good shout if you really want to go higher potential from Medipol Bashakir. 1.9 to 2.6 million is a bit on the pricey side. You might be able to player swap that down to a much cheaper option. There's good potential here. Like I said, 83, you can definitely make a profit on that. But if you're looking to work from a budget and build an entire squad, might be a little bit out your price range. But if you are rocking with a financial takeover, I would say this guy is probably going to be one of the first ones on your list. Next up, Raphael Onyedika from Midtjylland. 2.3 to 3.4 million, 66 rated, potential of 81. He's actually 65 rated. He's gone up one so far with a potential of 81. As you can see, plays CDM, centre mid as well as centre back. I honestly probably wouldn't go for this one. I think he's more money than some of the other ones on the list that are probably a bit better value. So I personally will probably stray away from this one unless, again, you go on financial takeover and you wanted that strong midfielder from the bench to come on and give you a hand. Next one, Brian Oko from Red Bull Salzburg. 1.9 to 2.1 million, 65 he starts. Up to an 82. So not bad. Again, with player swaps, you might be able to get him cheaper, but his base is between 1.9 and 2.1 million. So a good option once again, but I think there are cheaper options a little bit higher up. However, if you wanted to go with a better current ability, this might be a better one for you. 66 current ability is pretty damn good with the 82 potential. Next up, Mario Mitage. He can play left back as well as centre back. 66 current ability, 82 potential as well. 2.4 to 3.5 million is a pretty solid player, but again, a little bit more expensive than some of the other options. You are paying for the overall ability really now rather than the actual potential. So the players with the lower overall are cheaper, even though some of them do have a better potential of Mitage. So I definitely bear that in mind. If you've got financial takeover, then he's a great option for you. You can cover left back as well as centre back. If you've not got financial takeover, I would probably suggest other people on this list. Next up then, Arneo Martinez. We've seen him a few times in our videos so far. Can play left back, right back and centre back. 2.2 to 3.3 million, 66 current ability up to an 80. Again, I would not suggest this guy unless you had the financial takeover. If you have got that, this guy's fantastic from the bench. Can cover all three positions of your defence. I think he's a pretty solid option, but if you've not got financial takeover, I think there's much better options in all the other positions, so I would not bother. Next up, we've got Levi Cole, Will, 66 starting ability up to 83, so very, very good potential. Playing for Huddersfield, he's 2.4 to 3.5 million. You could try and utilise a player swap, but unless you've got somebody outstanding, I think you're going to really struggle to get this much cheaper. Again, I mean, if you're rocking with a financial takeover, this is a great option. If you're not, then I think this might be a bit out the price range, unless you just want to buy one big player in the first window. You want to get one big centre back in or one big player marquee sign in to help you get promoted. This could be a good option for you. However, I possibly would go with Bekir Omaragic. Can play centre back as well as right back. 67 starting ability with an 83 potential. 2.8 to 4.05, very expensive, but does have one thing that is very, very rare in younger players, and that is the leadership trait. So definitely worth trying to pick this guy up for potential captain for your entire career mode. Would be great, but again, that value is very expensive. If you're not rocking with the financial takeover, it's going to be very, very difficult. However, you might be able to get him cheap with the player swaps, or if you're looking for a marquee signing, he could be the one. Next, we move on to Ben Wilmot, 3.2 to 4.6 million. Starts as a 67, has already progressed to a 68. His potential is up to an 80. I don't really think this is the best really option to go for. I think there's much better options that are cheaper with better potentials, but he is available and he's an option if you so wish. Next up, Malky Fiore. 68 rated with a potential of 81. Can also play right back as well as centre back. 3.1 to 4.5 million. Again, I think there's better options out there. If you do have the financial takeover and you want someone to cover those positions from the bench, then he might be an option. Apart from that, I'd probably stay away and go for some different options. Next up, we have from Sparta Praha, Martin Vitik can play centre-back as well as CDM. 3.1 to 4.5 million. Again, very expensive when you're in League 2. However, if you're rocking the financial takeover, it's a very reasonable deal. Only an 80 potential, though, from a 68 current ability. Maybe not the best option. There are better options on this list as far as I'm concerned. However, if you do want to go for him, then you go for him. It's your money. Next up, we have Ziga Lucky, Slovenian centre-back from AEK Athens, 3.7 to 5.5. And you're looking at 68 starting ability. Of course, he's already gone to a 69, as you can see. 83 potential, so a very good potential. I mean, if you really want to go for... He's got Gomez, we looked at earlier in the list, who was quite cheap. And Tajir, so... There are cheaper options with the same potential, but if you're desperate for a strong centre-back right now in League 2, if that's your big issue and you want to get one big talisman signing in to help you, then Lucky could be that man. With the 83 potential, he's going to last you a very long time as well. But I personally wouldn't go for it unless you got the financial takeover. But I say it's your career mode. If you want to get that one big solid centre-back in to really put your team together in the window, this could be an option for you. Next up, then we have Ismael Kassas. Can play right back as well as right midfield and centre back. 69 rated, potential of 80. As you can see, he's already moved on this on my little playthrough here. He's gone to Sheffield Wednesday, but you're looking at between 3.4 to 5 million to pick him up. Again, it's a very expensive one. You are paying for that 69 current ability. So if you've got the financial takeover, this could be a good option because he's a very strong player right now. But that 80 potential for me is just not good enough. I feel like if you're paying that sort of money, there's much better options on this list. But again, he is available should you wish. Can cover several position bench, so could be useful. Next up, we've got Alejandro Francis. Again, a player who's already moved in this little playthrough I've done. But as you can see, between 3.7 to 5.7 million. He's 69 rated, 82 potential. So better potential, slightly more expensive than Kassas. But the extra 2 potential, I think, is probably worth it. For me, though, again, unless you're looking for a talisman solid centre-back that's going to last you up to the Premiership, I probably would go with somebody cheaper on this list. However, he is available. If you've got the financial takeover, he's possibly one of the best options you can pick up. And the final man in the centre-back list, we have got Svetoslav Markovic. Serbian Olympiakos player, 3.4 to 5 million, 69 current ability, with an 80 potential, so not great potential. Not a player that I would pick up because I think there's better options on this list, but he is a player who is available should you wish. So for me, I think going back through the list quickly, I think Vitik is a good... Not Vitik, sorry. We've got Lucky is a good shout, 69 up to 83 potential. Expensive though. We've also got the likes of Omarajic, who can play as a captain. He's got that captain leadership trait with the 83 potential, as well as Colwill with that 83 potential as well. And if you want to go for the more cheaper side, it's the players with the lowest current ability. So you're looking for Paco or Pacho, Kalagolopalopolis, as well as Alejandro Gomez, all with good potentials and not bad pricing at all, really. Good bargain players. And there's also Doyle as well for 1.2 million, who would be a great option with that 82 potential. But there we go. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Have I missed anybody? Have you tried any of these players? What did you think of them? And yeah, if I can help out in the comment section down below, I will try my best, but you guys can help each other out as well. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed and this has been useful. If it has, then please do hit that like button and of course subscribe if you would like to see some more. We're going through all the positions before we really settle on a fantastic list that we can find. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed. Good night, God bless, I'll be the same. I'll see you next time, bye bye.